Edit. Thank you all for the replies and direct messages. I didn't expect this response. It's been very helpful. Lonesome Observer and a few others have mentioned going to size me up to measure and then to a place like My One Condoms to buy the proper size. I hope they help. I can't wait to try them out. Edit 2. Never have unprotected sex with a stranger. Ever. Get condoms that fit properly before you're in the situation and don't use old condoms. I feel like this is an important message based on some of the comments. Edit 3. If you live in Canada or the United Kingdom, here's where you can get properly sized condoms. They fit. Be safe and have fun. Story 1. It's been said a couple of times, but I'm going to say it again. Get a size that fits. Condoms that are too tight at the base will restrict blood flow and cause a loss of erection. Finding the right brand that accommodates your size and allows for the most sensation while still being reliable will take some trial and error. A lot of adult stores are good about giving out samples of the various brands they carry. Also, what someone else said about the mental game makes a big difference too. Story 2. I had the same problem. You might need larger condoms, not in length but in diameter. Diameter is what really matters when it comes to condoms. Seriously, look online to find your size. Story 3. Not sure why you're getting downvoted for this question, but I'd love to share with you what I've learned about maintaining arousal during sex. Condoms are inconvenient. They protect you from unwanted consequences, but it's clear that they can hinder your ability to feel intimacy during sex. Because the sensations are reduced if you aren't fully engaged, you can lose your erection, which makes the entire experience awkward for both people. The secret to overcoming this is to shift your focus during sex. Did you know that the enjoyment of sex is 80% mental and 20% physical? The feeling of sex has little to do with how much you actually enjoy it. Most of the enjoyment comes from the mental aspect. The reactions and movements your partner makes can lead your mind into deeper ecstasy. If you've ever been intensely aroused before and during sex, you'll realize that it wasn't the act itself, but the anticipation and mental buildup that led to it. If you want to maintain arousal, even with a condom, you need to shift your focus from your own pleasure to your partner's. It's not because pleasing your partner will somehow give you more pleasure. It's because the more involved and turned on your partner feels, the more they'll participate and enjoy the sex. This translates into enthusiasm and sexual engagement. They'll become more eager to please you, leading to a better experience for both of you. When you focus too heavily on your own pleasure, you're conscious of the sensations and what feels good or doesn't. This means you're too focused on receiving rather than giving. When you aren't giving, your partner will notice, which means they may not be as giving in return. This results in lackluster sex, which could be improved if someone focuses on giving more than receiving. So, how do you maintain arousal with a condom? Focus on your partner's pleasure and give her the best sexual experience you can. She'll likely reciprocate. I'm getting a lot of messages from people asking if I'm some sort of expert or all-knowing sexual being. While these comments are appreciated, I'd like to share something with all men that I wish was shared with me as I matured into a sexually active individual. Sex is a skill. Just like any skill, you won't be great the first time. You develop your skills through repetition and practice. You learn from successes and failures and adjust accordingly. However, your ability to master a skill can be increased with external knowledge. Books can be a great resource. I was clueless just a few years ago because I hadn't lost my virginity yet, but even after, I was still learning through practice. I improved by reading a few key books. She Comes First, The Thinking Man's Guide to Pleasuring a Woman, How to Be a 3% Man, Sex God Method. I promise I'm not a god. Sex is a time to give. More than any other time with a partner, focus on giving rather than receiving. Yes, you may encounter selfish partners or those who have no clue what they're doing. Still, focus on giving. If you're worried about your partner not giving back, remember you're focused on receiving instead of giving. Give 100% to your partner. If they are worthy, they'll give their 100% back. Don't expect your 100% to match theirs. Focus on giving your best. Experience and enjoy the moment fully. Worst case, they're selfish or don't satisfy you. Move on and continue with the confidence that they lost the best partner they'll meet, you. Sex doesn't define your value. While it's great to expand your knowledge and improve, don't let sex become a measure of your value. I made that mistake after a bad breakup when I was a virgin. I pursued countless women to impress them with my skills, using it to gauge my worth. Did I please her? If not, I doubted myself. Sex should express love and connection, not define self-worth. I questioned my ability to love because I was focused on sexual abilities rather than qualities that made me unique. Don't make that mistake. Use sex to have fun and to give. Story 4. If the problem is blood flow from being choked out, you probably need bigger condoms. If the problem is lack of sensation, you either need thinner condoms or stop beating your dick so much. Story 5. It sounds like you're using a condom that does not have the proper nominal width. Use either tailor's tape or a piece of string and find your circumference when fully hard. That is the main measurement when it comes to condom measurements. Then, find the length by measuring along the top with the ruler pressed against your pubic bone to find the proper length. Input those numbers into a suitable online tool to find the proper nominal width. I used these after finally finding condoms that properly fit my width, and it made a massive difference. Story 6. Use better condoms. Most of what you find at the grocery store isn't good. Look at Crown, Beyond 7, Pleasure Plus, and Okamoto. Okamoto 004 are my favorite. Story 7. Spend a little bit more money and get better condoms. The plain rubber ones they give out for free during college orientation are not going to cut it. Those make it feel like you're having sex with a balloon. Some higher-end condoms restore a lot of feeling to the experience. There is an entire range just within the Trojan family of condoms. I found a few I liked and the rest I didn't. My wife and I went through a bunch until we found ones we both liked, as other forms of contraception don't work for medical reasons. Sometimes we'd stop during sex and just change the condom because it wasn't working for either of us. If you don't like Trojan, there are many other brands. It doesn't feel as good as going without, but nothing is more sexy than precaution and responsibility. Story 8. I use Japanese condoms made from some super thin material, 0.01 to 0.02 millimeters. They are more expensive, but you can actually feel your partner, so I find the cost acceptable in light of all the positives. Plus, despite the thinness, they stay together without tears as well as typical American or European condoms. Do notice that they run on the smaller side, so always order large. Japanese condoms in large size equal American or European condoms in standard size. Edit. I just checked the boxes. The brands are Sagami and Okamoto. Amazon sells them. Story 9. Lubricate or spit on the head of the penis right before I put it on, and maybe a bit into the condom. If I don't and the bare latex rubs against the tip, it's almost impossible for me to ejaculate. Try different brands or sizes. I found a slightly looser fit was better. Story 10. I've never lost an erection using a condom. The only thing that happens to me is that I can't finish. I may also have a below-average girth, though, so don't read into this. Story 11. The trick is lubricant. Put lubricant on your penis before you put on the condom. Then put more lubricant on the outside of the condom. Also, spend the money and get good condoms. Trojan has some nice designs that do not feel as restrictive as some. Story 12. I don't know if somebody has already mentioned this. Stop watching pornography. When I did it, sex felt 100% better, and I stayed firm even if I had consumed alcohol. Story 13. Do this. Put a condom on and engage in self-pleasure. Do this about 10 times. By the 11th time, you will be more accustomed to condoms, and you will be able to maintain a decent erection. Story 14. I've had this problem. I also lost erections when I used to drink, but I don't drink now. However, one time I got blackout drunk with a girl that I wanted to have sex with for 10 years, passed out while having sex with her, and woke up a little later still inside her in a condom still fully erect. So I think it's mostly mental. Story 15. A lot of people are talking about size on here. Yes, that's important, but if you're willing to shell out $1 to $3 per condom, you can also find a more sensitive condom. My favorite right now is the Kimono. They have the world's thinnest latex condom that feels the closest to bare of any I've tried. They have a micro-thin extra large for wider members. Second choice is the Unique Pull or Unique Plus. It doesn't feel quite as nice, but it is thin and comfortable. Many enjoy the Trojan Natural Am, but I think they feel weird, smell weird, and they don't protect against any sexually transmitted diseases. Story 16. Finding the right size is a start, but the mind is a very powerful thing. What you put into your brain is what comes out of it. With that being said, if you tell yourself you cannot stay hard using condoms, you probably will not. Try using a different mindset next time around. This is also key when it comes to lasting longer in bed. Story 17. Saving this for hopefully some insight. I hate using condoms. They are an absolute boner killer for me. There are a few comments here talking about the tightness or thickness of the condom, but the mere sensation of wearing one just puts me off. Story 18. Short answer, Viagra. If you normally don't need it, you can cut the pills into halves or quarters, such as 25 milligrams, to enhance condom sex. Long answer, get generic Viagra from India. It's about 50 cents a pill. Mexico is not quite as cheap, but still reasonably priced, and if you get a doctor's prescription, you can get generic sildenafil, not quite as reasonably priced, from Costco, but still much cheaper than buying the name brand. For me, the sure sign I am truly into a woman is if I can have sex and climax with a condom without using Viagra. Story 19. I have never gone soft while wearing a condom before my first ejaculation. If anything, the condom squeezing my penis helps it stay hard. Now, after I ejaculate the first time, there is basically no point in wearing a condom if I'm trying to get hard again. Story 20. Butt plug. For real, dude. It's a magical thing that somehow acts like a bone for your penis. Double the pleasure too. Be prepared to destroy the rubber with how much you're going to nut. Story 21. Eat healthy, exercise, try to masturbate without pornography, and meditate. Blood flow is a big issue which can be caused by poor diet and energy in many cases. Story 22. I solved this problem by giving up on condoms because I just hate them. That's just me though, and definitely not a solution to your problem, but that's just what I did instead. Story 23. Fitment is very important. Tight enough to stay on, loose enough not to restrict blood flow. I found condoms with flared tips to work best. They grip at the base so they stay in place, but they don't squeeze the entire length. The extra diameter of the last 2 to 3 inches allows for some movement where you're most sensitive. Get lubricated condoms, or put a drop or two of lubricant inside before rolling it down. Also, consider polyurethane or polyisoprene condoms. They're stronger and thinner, so they transmit more sensation and heat. Story 24. The inside of a condom does not feel right, but you have to use them, so here is what you do. Add a drop of lubricant to the inside of the condom before you put it on. If you are in a spot, you can spit in it too. Just make sure it is still on when you finish. What a world. Story 25. Add some lubricant inside the tip area only to allow the latex to easily slide across the glands. Then you get the sensation of the latex rubbing you, not something rubbing you from outside the latex with a dull sensation. Story 26. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that request. Story 27. I used to have this problem, but you just have to get it on quickly after she's sucking you, even with half an erection, and then gently insert it. If I have a partial erection with a condom and can't get it in, usually rubbing it on her vagina will help get it hard again anyway. Edit. Have the condom opened and ready when you're engaging in foreplay. Story 28. Better condoms. You should try more sizes and brands. The world changed for me when I switched to a brand my then girlfriend gave me. The first product I used was a 100-pack I got from Amazon from Billy Boy or something. Worst buy ever. The regular size was way too small for me, and it pressured my penis too much, making it uncomfortable to have sex with them and very hard to climax. Actually impossible for me at least. My overly passionate girlfriend was not amused. Better condoms also have a better lubricant on them so that you can always skip the optional oral part if you have a lazy day, and it will still be comfortable for your girlfriend. I am hearing about free samples in sex shops for the first time in this thread. Great idea. I spent a lot more money by buying multiple types of brands. Story 29, you just do. Never had an issue with them and don't understand how people say there's a difference. Things are a bit easier to get started when you don't use them. An ex of mine had an intrauterine device, but I've just never had that issue. Perhaps I'm easily aroused. Story 30. You could try the condoms that have lubricant on the inside and outside. Also, Trojan sells a multi-pack, so you won't have to buy a whole pack that you don't end up liking. You can even buy them off Amazon. Story 31. Remain focused on that mental thing that excites you, love for your partner or whatever works. And, of course, taking the condom is my favorite way to achieve this. Story 32. Get the right condoms. They aren't as pleasurable as bareback, but they are necessary unless you are in a long-term committed relationship. If you're with a committed exclusive partner and both of you are disease-free, try Natural. They are the best I have tried, and I have tried a lot. Years of using no condoms and going back to condoms was challenging, to say the least. Story 33. I have found that condoms help me last longer. As I am very sensitive and without a condom, I can come very quickly. A condom plus a cock ring is my plan for long-time fun. Story 34. Make sure you get ones that are not too tight. I always thought the size of a condom was all about length. It is not. There are different sizes, and wearing condoms that are not wide enough can constrict your penis, causing a problem. Always make sure you get the right size of condoms widthwise as well. As soon as I discovered this, I had much more fun. Lifestyle skins are amazing, so much better than Durex. Also, if the woman is lying there like a sack of potatoes, it is going to be a flop. Story 35. The best advice I got was to use the go, wait, go technique. When you feel you are about to climax or go soft, pull out and focus on your partner. Use your fingers or tongue if you are adventurous enough. Talk to her, ask what she wants. Knowing and seeing you can make her want you to keep doing what you are doing will help. Most importantly, it's not about how hard you stay but about how much she enjoys as well.